Oh, it's
Greetings,
low.
everyone. This is Jeff from the Overwatch team. I just want to give you a little bit of a warning. I think this is going to be a longer developer update than we usually do, but it's because we want to spend time explaining things very carefully to you. So as you know in Overwatch, we give you a very short period of time to choose your team. The Assembles Heroes mode is only 40 seconds long. And as many of you know, as veteran Overwatch players, team composition is everything to your success and failure of whether or not you're going to win the match. And we feel like there's a lot of pressure on you in that 40 seconds to make some very tough decisions.
Yeah, true.
For this reason, we are introducing a feature that's going to give you more control over your experience. And this feature is called Role Queue. The reason we are adding Role Queue is because we believe that it's going to improve match quality. It's going to give you more control over your play experience. You're going to have more options as to what you're going to
Wait for
play.
it. It's not coming up.
And it's also going to relieve a lot of the social pressure that some of us feel and overall create a better social experience for us when picking our heroes and picking our roles. So let me go into the details of what Role Queue is going to be for Overwatch.
Check out what you guys did. This is big news. You wanna know why? This isn't just news about the about Role Queue itself, but it's about Blizzard's mentality. For once, this is like Blizzard's way of saying, you were right. For once, they admit their mistake. Yeah, I get it, dude. Blizzard, dude, will always hold on to their philosophies super hard. No, we're right. No. And yeah, they do that all the time, dude. But when they do something like this, dude, they're like, you know, dude, you were right, we're wrong, and we're changing the game philosophy, dude.
From
and
now
it feels really
on,
good.
in competitive and quick play, as well as in Overwatch esports, when you queue up for a match, you will be asked to pick a role between support, damage, or tank. When you get into the match, you will only be able to pick the role that you queued for. So if you pick tank, you will be limited to the tanks that you can play. Every team in Overwatch will be comprised of 2 tanks, 2 damage, and 2 support. So obviously this is a very big change, but we think it's a change for the better. There's some really cool reasons to do this. So right now in Overwatch, we give you an overall matchmaking rating because we don't know what you're going to play. You might get into a match with the intention of playing Reinhardt, but there's already multiple tanks on your team, so you end up playing Widowmaker instead. In that case, you might actually perform much better or worse as a tank than you would as a damage player, and the match balance is in flux constantly because of this.
Yep.
Well, under the new system, you will have an under-the-hood matchmaking rating for every single role. Damage, tank, and support. What's even cooler about this is in competitive, we're now going to give you, instead of 1 skill rating for your entire playstyle, we're going to give you 3 skill ratings, each one based on tank, damage, and support. We found this internally to be a lot of fun. A lot of us are discovering things about ourselves that we didn't even know. For example, for me, I am an entire skill rating tier higher on tank than I am on support. I used to think support was my second best role,
same, dude.
and it actually is my worst role, and I'm decent at damage and really good at tank. So I learned something about myself as a player, which was really cool, and it was neat to see that my tank play is an entire skill rating higher than my damage or support. So that was really cool, and we think it'll be a lot of fun for you. Now you're probably wondering about some of the details with competitive play and how that might change the experience. Instead of playing 10 placement matches and then being placed into the competitive season, you will now have the option for each role of only having to place in 5 placement matches.
Yeah,
so if you want to place in all 3, which we totally encourage you to do, you would do 5 placement matches per role, and then you'll be placed and you will get a skill rating that will actually display on your career profile. And each season you can now try to raise and lower 3 different skill ratings instead of just 1. We think this will be really cool.
So with this comes like the question that I asked myself the other day. Is it going to be a hard reset for rating? a soft reset or like a soft hard reset, right? Because with only 5 matches, if they do a soft reset, it won't make that much sense. If they make a hard reset, it doesn't make that much sense either.
If you place in any role, like if you just picked one, you just want to play damage for competitive, we'll give you the player icon and the spray like we've done in previous seasons. One of the things that I think is really cool, though, is for placing in all three and having a skill rating in all three roles, you now get competitive points per role. So if you place in all three roles in a season, you'll actually get more competitive points than you would have previously under the old system. So we think that's really cool. We will publish a chart that shows how the new competitive points sort of translate and all of that. Now, there's some other differences to competitive that will happen, and this is in regards to, the new system and making sure that we test it properly. So we're going to end season 17 early, and we're going to start a beta competitive season that will start on August 13th and only run for 2 weeks. Role queue is a very complicated feature that requires a lot of testing, and while role queue will be on the PTR for PC today, we want to have more broad testing that actually touches PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So we're gonna roll a beta season that's gonna start on August 13th and last until September 1st. That's gonna allow us to tune and tweak role queue to make sure that it's perfect when it releases officially, which is gonna be on September 1st. So you're initially gonna get a beta competitive season that features role queue that's gonna last 2 weeks starting in mid-August. Then on September 1st, role queue turns on for everyone. This means quick play, this means competitive, even some of the arcade modes. Now, we know some of you really love the way that quick play and competitive work right now, and you don't want to have a role limit. So for those of you folks who aren't interested in the role limit, or maybe you do like the role limit, but you just occasionally want to play the other way, we're going to make sure that in the arcade, there is a card called Quick Play Classic that will allow you to play Overwatch exactly as you do today, with the added benefit that you'll also be getting the arcade loot boxes. So we think that this will be a very positive experience for those of you who are reluctant about role queue, or maybe want to take your time experimenting with the feature.
Guys, it's arcade.
Know that the Quick Play Classic feature is there for you. Now, I want to spend a little bit more time talking about the why of this feature. I think there's a lot that's changed about Overwatch in the past few years, and all of it's good.
Agreed.
The players have evolved. The games have evolved. How we think about team composition has evolved. I think a lot of us realize how important the different roles are, how important team composition is, and we approach the game differently. Now, we've all been in these various scenarios, and I'm going to spell some of them out for you.
Watch the patterns of this.
Think about the time that you just wanted to play Hanzo. You were really in the mood to play Hanzo, and so you log into Overwatch, and you click on Hanzo as soon as he's available in the role lineup, and then you're watching the heroes on your team get selected around you, and you suddenly realize that you have no tanks in support, and there you are on Hanzo. And you're faced with this dilemma, like, what do I do? At this point, we have no tanks, we have no support. If I switch off of Hanzo, I'm not getting to do what I wanted to do, yet I feel like we're going to lose because there's nobody to heal and there's nobody to tank. So it's a really tough dilemma. There's also a lot of us who always pick last. I'm a player that does this. I always tell my team, I'll flex.
I mean, I pick last because I know nobody's gonna fucking play Ryan, dude. That main thing is so fucking boring, dude. Nobody will jump on my role, that's for sure, dude.
And I'll go ahead and fill for whatever's left. So a lot of times, what will end up happening is, for example, I'll end up playing support on my team. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I happen to know that my matchmaking rating as a support player is far lower than my matchmaking rating as a tank player. Even though I'm trying to be a good teammate to you when I'm picking support, I might actually be putting my team in a very detrimental situation. Sure, I'll play Zenyatta, I'll play Mercy, but I'm not as good of a Mercy player as I am as a D.Va or a Reinhardt player. And in essence, I've caused a great imbalance to happen in the game.
It took 2
So
years, boys,
we've
but
all
we
been
did it.
under these scenarios as well, where we're trying to do the right thing and we don't even realize that innocently we are damaging the quality of the match and lessening my team's odds of winning the match by playing a role that I wasn't intended to play. So that's another example. And then possibly the one that I think bothers a lot of us is we get into a match, we think we're picking a hero that's really going to help our team, we pick that hero, and then another teammate disagrees with us. And maybe they're very vocal and they're putting pressure on me to play something different. And either for reasons that I feel like I'm not skilled at that hero or I just don't want to play that hero, now I'm getting this pressure from somebody else to switch onto something that
Hey,
I'm
Widow, you're not hitting shots, switch, you fucking dumbass.
not comfortable doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And we've added this social tension. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the developer update, we're only giving you 40 seconds to resolve these type of issues. All of these scenarios that I sort of spelled out for you are the reason that we're moving the game in this direction. I want to dispel any misconception that the reason that we are implementing this feature is to change the meta. We are not at all. In fact, we're in the middle of a big meta shift anyway that's happening very naturally through hero balance. We don't believe that a rule like this is intended to target any one specific meta. There will always be a meta. There will always be some level of dissatisfaction with a meta. And we would never make a rule change like this targeted at a specific meta. It's also not our goal to control the meta. I've heard people say that if we went to something like a 2-2-2 composition, we would be limiting the creativity of the game. And I couldn't disagree with this more. I feel
I
like
agree.
the most creative people work creatively within constraints. For example, and I know I'm off on a bit of a tangent here, but Shakespeare, one of the greatest writers of all time, wrote beautiful sonnets.
Good one, Jeff.
And there's no more constrained form of poetry than the sonnet, which is 14 lines of iambic pentameter. I think if Shakespeare can be creative within the sonnet, I'm confident that you all will come up with creative team compositions within a 2-2-2 situation.
Dude.
So there's a lot going on here. The last part that I want to mention that I feel like is by no means the least part that we should focus on is hero balance. Now, with a 2-2-2 composition,
A lot of balance
it's
coming
going
up.
to change how we have to balance the heroes. It's not going to be easier to balance the heroes. It's not going to be more difficult to balance the heroes. It's just different. And there are changes that are going to happen to some of our heroes to make them viable within this role queue 2-2-2 setup that we are moving to. A hero that I will use as an example is Brigitta. Brigitta is going to get a lot of big balance changes, and you'll be able to read about these. We'll link to them, and you'll be able to read.
Less stun duration. Hell, dude. Armor pack rework.
all the patch notes, so you'll know what I'm talking about. But Brigitta is going to get tremendous balance changes, and the reason being is currently Brigitta is extremely powerful when played with 2 other supports. So you're already in a 3 support situation. But Brigitta is actually not as viable with only 1 other support. And sometimes Brigitta can be a detriment to your team when only played with 1 other support. We need to rebalance Brigitta for this current situation. You'll see this happen with some of our other heroes as well. Now,
he's not wrong. She has to heal more.
we know role queue is going to be a big change. I think this is the biggest change we've added to the game since we went to the hero limit 3 years ago. This is a big change. I know it's dramatic. I know players in general are adverse to change. Please work with us on this. We're doing this to make the game better. We believe that it will make the overall experience for all of you better, and that's why we're making the change. If things aren't great at first, we have lots of knobs to turn to make things better. We are monitoring this extremely closely, and we're going to do a lot of things to make sure that this is the absolute healthiest choice for the game at all points. And know that the entire team is committed to making changes if we do anything that's not for the best of the game. One of the things that I'm personally concerned about is queue times. I think that it's possible if one role is more popular than the other roles.
Hey, Jeff, dude, spell it out. Yeah. 2 a.m., 2 p.m., 12 at night, doesn't matter, dude. If I Q main tank, I get a game instantly. No Q, no nothing, bitch.
People are going to have to
Right
wait
to the game,
longer
dude.
to play that role. I anticipate this for the damage role in particular. I think there might be longer queue times for damage. We are doing some things to help alleviate this. There is a reward system in place for playing the roles that are more impacted. You will get a bonus for playing those roles, and you'll learn more about that.
An incentive.
And then also, we just think the very nature of knowing that you're going to have a quicker experience. If you want to play really, really fast, you can either go to the arcade and play Quick Play Classic, or you can play some of those other roles that are more impacted right now. So know that this is something that we're keeping an eye on, but it's a direct trade-off to moving towards this type of system. We really appreciate your patience.
For those that played WoW, dude, it's whenever you queue as tank, you get the bag. That's pretty much the bag for
with us.
Overwatch.
I know so many of you have wanted this feature for so long. We've actually been working on this for over a year. It's an extremely complicated change. It's required a complete rewrite.
And also, for those that played WoW also, you'll notice that the bag was almost every week, every day for tank, so it'll never change. So if your main tank did, you're gonna yoink, 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 yoink.
Of our matchmaking system in order to get us here. But we believe that this is the best thing for the long-term health of the game. We're going to continue to iterate on the feature as it goes live, and we're going to make sure that overall the play experience is improved. And the reason for doing a big dramatic change like this is to make sure that all of you continue to have more fun playing Overwatch, and maybe some people who used to play Overwatch will be happy to come back because now this is in place and they know they're guaranteed to play the role that they really wanted to play in that match. We're looking forward to what you have to say about this on the PTR. We're also looking forward to your feedback when it goes into that short multi-week beta season that I mentioned earlier. As always, we're reading and listening to all of your feedback, and we can't wait to bring this feature to you. We think it will really improve the experience of Overwatch. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Okay, so there's a few changes that I knew in advance. I had all the fucking balance changes. So there's a couple of things that I want to go through. Anybody have the patch notes page somewhere? Okay. Is this how it's gonna look? Let me put some music in the back there and just chill a bit. Okay. Let's see. Earn loot box if you support, or if you has whatever is needed in that one time, which is pretty cool, I think. Hopefully they did. Honestly, did in my thoughts on it. Loot box isn't cool enough. I'd say I'd make it so it's between a loot box, coins, and like a random skin or something like that, right? And have a skin be very rare, and a loot box maybe less rare, and coins more often than that. With maybe XP added, it's like a random with like a proportion. Who knows? Because just loot boxes, yeah, I get it. It gives coins, but 3 skill ratings, yep, PogChamp. 5 matches, PogChamp. Points, 1.8 thousand per queue. Is that how it's gonna work? That's a lot. Okay, I want patch notes. Okay, big patch notes, boys. Huge. I want to make sure that everything is in it so I don't get fucking sued, dude. Okay, Pog, it's all in it. The thing that I sort of got from this is that big change to CC overall. Okay, they're nerfing Brigitte's stun a little bit. Dude, we'll just go one by one. Ash reload time. I'll zoom in a little bit. Reload time per round decrease from 0.3 to 0.5. That's like a quality of life for Ash. I think that's pretty good. Doesn't matter that much, but not a big deal. Back up. Here updates. Global ultimate cost increased by 12%, so less overall ultimate is going to be used. But this might be because they tested it out. They tested it out in 222, and it just made sense. Right, who knows? Slowing. Okay, this is a huge deal. Okay, read this. Slowing effects. Instead of stacking together, friendly and enemy slowing effects are now separate movement speed and will be reduced whichever is slower. Okay. Dude, that's crazy. There's a lot of things to look at. Friendly and enemy separate, reduced whichever is slower. So, if I'm Reinhardt, right, using my shield, right, makes me go from this to this, right? So, if something was gonna slow me down from this to even slower, like this, right? It'll take the one that slows me the most out of all of them, and it'll choose it, and that's how slow they'll be, right? So if Mei doesn't slow me as much as my own shield, I will go with my normal shield pace, right? Does that make sense? If nothing slows me more than how much my shield slows me down, it'll choose the shield slow speed, right? So it's not additive, it's choosing, but it's smooth, right? That's actual that's crazy, dude. That's a crazy change. Okay. Everybody understands that? Okay. I hope everybody understands that. Okay. Whip shot. Outgoing velocity from 60 to 80. That's a huge deal, dude. That's the Brigitte like a. And when it comes back faster. That's huge. Barrier shield. Barrier health reduced from 500 to 200. So no more Brigitte face tanking the whole team. This also means that maybe sometimes if you pull a Brigitte with your Orisa, if she used her shield already, you can probably even break it and hook her in. Big. Shield bash stun. Stun duration reduced from 9 to 7.75. Did. That is crazy. So Brigitte mains did. Take it, did. Hey, how does it feel? How does it feel to be a Brig main? I see you, Brig main did. Your fingers are getting juiced up, dude. All the blood is pulling it in your fingers, and you're going to the forums, and you're saying, no. Let me update this for you. No, you didn't deserve your rank. No, you didn't improve. No, you're not a god gamer. What you are is a coward scrub, glorified, non-mechanical support trash that got free rating and will go back downwards trend, back to the sewers where you belong. Thank you, though. Much love. Right. Nothing. Rally ultimate cost increase by 10%. That's just pretty good. Okay, this is pretty big, chat. Inspire passive healing amount increased from 100 to 130. So once again, they did that last time a little bit. So what they're doing it again. They're rebuffing the healing. They're making Brigitte more of a healer. Like it makes it easier to stabilize your team. Pretty much, it makes it like you're not completely useless. If you didn't, you know. And also it makes it more rewarding for you to take a risk and hit a shift or hit an auto attack, so you get your passive to start popping up, right? Self healing now from Inspire is now halved. That is crazy though. That's something I can get behind it, because now that's a big deal when they have armor on, right? When they have armor, dude, they're unkillable, right? Their Brigittes are unkillable. This makes Brigitte killable, which is super good. No more Brig stalling your push because she's alive. Okay, repair pack. Okay, Brigitte now doesn't do only one pack, it's 3, right? If you throw multiple packs at the same person, the current duration will be extended by 2 seconds. Now heal for 2 seconds. So you can put all 3 and stack. This means that you can stack them on one person. Bang bang on one person, and it just makes it the heal longer, but the same amount per second, right? Healing amount changed from 150 to 120. So this is pretty cool overall. There's no boom. It's like a boom, but no pow, which is pretty good. We'll see how that plays out in any set meta. We'll see what it does to Brig overall. But I think this is a good change with Brigitte. I think this makes Brigitte more of like a macro healer and makes it more like a Resto Druid. Anything else? Moira. Fade cannot be used while stunned. That's pretty huge. So this makes Moira more slippery, which is good for quality of life and more players. Did I skip something? I skip Hanzo? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, chat. I'm jumping. Kingdom Fist, quick melee no longer pauses ammo reload. That's kind of a big deal. It's not that big of a deal, but it's pretty good. Hanzo Storm Arrows. Ammo reduced from 6 to 5. Developer comment. Overall damage output for Storm Arrows was too high and reducing the maximum number of shots. Thanks, man. So thanks for no longer gonna get absolutely melted. I mean, they will still get melted, but... Orisa Protective Barrier. Cooldown increase from 8 to 9 seconds. Okay, so can I be honest with you guys? This does not matter at all if they're not running a hardcore shield breaking comp. If you're not breaking the shield like crazy, this does almost nothing. Because when do you ever reset your shield because it got broken? Never, unless they're breaking it on purpose. But in scenarios where you do decide to break shield, this makes like a big deal. Because a lot of times when they do break shield, you're like using your shift to go between shields. Reinhardt buff, boys! Reduces knockback effects by 30%. It's happening, boys. So this means no more being toyed around, no more being punched back 60 times, and you feel like you're just being like a ping pong ball the whole game. Oh, dude, Lucio, Doomfist, dude, no more that dumb shit, Pog. That's good, dude. Oh, here it comes, chat. It's not over, dude. Sombra, hack. Duration, unimpressive from 6 to 5. It's still not enough, but I'm okay with it, dude. A full second reduced hack. That's crazy. My thoughts on this, dude. Hack is still a death sentence, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Right now on live servers, dude, hack is a complete death sentence. If you're hacked, you're dead. EMP activation time increase from 0.5 to 0.6. What does that mean, dude? People that don't really know. You know when she jumps right in the air and she goes, right? Instead of going wang, it goes wang. So you have more time to, like, you know, push her, hook her, stun her, do whatever the fuck you want, right? Which is pretty good. Symmetra, teleporter. Okay, this one's pretty complicated. Symmetra teleporter now lasts an infinite duration until destroyed. So unless they break TP, then it's always live. So this makes for some pretty interesting stuff. Like my thoughts on this initially was she might become like a taxi hero, right? If everybody's playing main, you can put a TP from like spawn to closer to you, right? Does that make sense? And you can still stay with your team and be effective and not always go behind and redo your fucking TP all the time, right? So you can stay in front and hope that your TP stays set up in the back, and your teammates, when they die, they can just wang all the time. So you can make some pretty interesting, you know, resupply sort of strats. Players can destroy their teleporter with the ability to input. Okay, that's pretty good. Cooldown starts when a new teleporter is destroyed. That's fine. Cooldown increase from 12 to 15. That was gonna happen for sure. Maximum range increase from 25 to 30 meters. Dude, like I said. Teleporter breaks if the entrance is more than 40 meters from the exit. Okay, makes sense. Teleporter reuse time increase from 1 to 1.5, so you can't spam it. This means that if you put it too far, it'll break. Moving platforms. Moving platforms. No moving platforms, I get it. Developer, such as teleporter is an interesting tool, but often felt restricted to use. Meaning teleporter lasts forever, opens up new opportunities for someone to be used in various maps. True. Tracer bomb back to 300 to 350. That's a big deal, dude. I'm pretty sure this also makes it so the fall off damage from the initial blast to the outer rings is also the same by ratio. So more opportunities for multi kills and stuff like that. This is a big deal because it makes the like the amount of range it takes for somebody else to be killed by the bomb itself not as far as before, which we know we didn't. Guys, how often do you see tracers kill 2 people with a bomb? Not often. Wrecking ball minefield increase projectile speed from 10 to 13, causing mines to spread out more. So it makes it easier to create wider minefields. So mines will be more spread out overall. The radius is way bigger, and activation time for the bombs reduced from 0.5 to 0.1, almost instant. That's pretty crazy. Bug fixes, that's whatever, dude. I don't really give a fuck about that much. No buffs to Winston, but think about it. Brigitte is nerfed, and the core reason why she's successful is different. Why would you need Winston? I mean, Winston does poorly against armor and does very well against no armor. So, I think it's a good thing. I think you have to be careful with buffing Winston. I think Winston is like on a line that people are comfortable with. And he's very good. When he's good, he's really good. Without buffs, Winston is either good or really fucking good. And sometimes kind of like, you know, get shredded. But if you buff him, dude, he can become a crazy, insane like death machine. And I think that's dangerous. Coming here by Hulk says it. Not happy about Rule Q 222. Not needed. Rule Q on its own is fine, but it shouldn't be forced for everybody. Doofus quick melee, not canceling reload seems like a big buff. He needs nerfs. Ryan Archie Best is nice. Was very annoying to get knocked back by Ball Doom. Hey, go on, dude. Fucking boomer, dude. Jojo Digital, boys. Jojo Digital. Where's this guy? Oh, private profile, of course. My friend Jojo from the headquarters says, so, Brigitte loses literally all her survival ability. The thing that made her unique. Thanks. I'ma just sell the game now. Thanks, man. I'll buy it. DM me, retard. Next up, we have. So you actually did the hero with the worst win rate with no compensation and took away almost all of Brig's survival? Wow. Let's take a look. Damn. His profile is private. Who would have fucking thought? Still no mercy changes? Okay. You're still dumb in the comments? Okay. Yikes. Just yikes. This game can piss off us now. Just goddamn, dude. It was me and Moxie. We dropped down, they weren't ready. Our aim was motherfucking steady.
Yeah, steady.
We roll up on that bitch, went scoot. 4 kills, first place. Yeah. Fuck.
Yo.
Spit some bars.
On this shit.